So next slide. So a little bit more on a personal note. Sorry, the screen popped up a thing and I was trying to figure that out. Okay, so a little bit more on a personal note. I have a second grade son. He's also in the district. And as a family, we enjoy a lot of outdoor activities. So you can see us here, or my husband and son in the picture at Catamount. And we'll move on to the next slide. So I have two dogs, Marla and Elbow. Marla is an Australian Shepherd and Elbow is a shelter dog. And I always get questions about where his name came from. So he's actually named after an obscure Shakespeare character. Next slide. I really enjoy baking. So here are some of the things that I've baked during the pandemic. I was one of the people who got into baking sourdough. So now that's my role in the family, is to bake bread every week. But that's been a fun distraction. Okay, next slide. I also like playing disc golf. So this is a picture out at Rampart now I'm dating myself. In 2008, I went to the Disc Golf World Championships as a amateur. So that was a fun experience. So I play tournaments, sometimes, less now that I have a kid. Okay, next slide. I also like running. So you can see me here finishing the Stilly Half Marathon. As you can tell, if you're a runner, by my time, I'm not especially fast, but I enjoy running. It's a good stress relief. And then next slide. I think that's it.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And we're really looking forward to just having extra, really capable set of hands helping us out here, having these conversations with you folks. And Dr. Cephas will be also assisting with work-based learning. And so as we move into kind of your, sometimes during 10th grade, but certainly 11th and 12th grade, looking at getting into job shadows, internships, those type of conversations certainly can be had, so you can kind of just further your career exploration. So really, really happy to have her on board. And we're going to pivot real quick here. So this is a upcoming event. We've got homecoming coming up on October 1st, and we are going to have a tailgate competition cook-off. So what we're doing, basically, we'll go through the W's. So the cook-off competition is going to take place before the homecoming game. This is for anybody in the community, students, staff, parents, community members. The Success Center will be participating. Anybody can sign up to enter the competition, or you can simply be an eater, basically, a taster, voter. So this will be on Friday, October 1st, 5:30 to 6:30 before the game. It's going to be in the lot by the football field, the west lot. And it is to promote community and school spirit at Vista. And it is going to be $10 to compete. And so, for example, let's say, and you can have a group compete too. So it could be a club, could be an individual. Teachers who are listening, we'd love to have you guys participate. Basically, you kick in $10. And then, for example, you create some sort of dish, be it chili. It's not exactly a chili cook-off, but a lot of the popular dishes are kind of chili-oriented: green chili, red chili, white chili, or something sweet, maybe cookies, some kind of a dessert, cannolis, whatever it might be. And you prepare about 50 small sample sizes worth. So a big pot of chili, a bunch of cookies, whatever it might be. And then that $10 competition fee goes to a prize pot, which will be, so prizes are judged by the tasters. If you want to be a taster and basically show up and try a bunch of yummy stuff, that's just $3. And then you're going to get a couple tickets with which you can vote. And so we'll post a link on Google Classroom for that if you're interested in competing or just curious about just being a taster. But we're really looking for a lot of competitors. And the winner of the savory, i.e., you know, salty, yummy, not sweet category, and the winner of the sweet category, both are going to basically split the cost of the entrance fees, that $10 fees that are all kicked in. So there's cash prizes basically for the top winners, and the admission fees are going towards fundraising for our GT program, who are graciously hosting this. So we're really looking forward to this event, really hoping to get our community out and about and involved. And if you have any questions about that, you're going to get reach out to Ms. Corral, and I'll include her information on a post in the Google Classroom. So to pivot once more, today is a work day on your passion project. Continue working on your design brief, which we introduced last week, and please show your teacher your hyperdoc. We've been working in this document now for a number of weeks, and we want to see your progress on that and just make sure you're kind of on pace. Again, as I stated at the beginning of the call, unfortunately, before I hit record, we just want to make sure that you're on pace, but also understand you might be struggling with sort of what you want to work on. I've been in a lot of classrooms and understand that a lot of kids, you're ready to go. You know what you're doing. You've already been working on the project. Hyperdocs, no problem. Some people are maybe sort of in the middle, and some people might be struggling a little bit. That's okay. We are really looking to have your first quarter hyperdoc due on October 15th. So you've got a little bit of time, but we want you to be really hitting the ground running as we move into fall break. You've got those 2 weeks off, and you got some time to really get your hands on your project. So touch base with your teacher, let them take a look at your hyperdoc, just kind of see where you're at so we can get a general sense and see what help you might need. So at this time, again, another thing I stated before I hit record was that we're finding that it's really important and beneficial for us to be in the classrooms and able to support students and teachers in the process here. So I'm going to wrap pretty shortly. If there's any kind of big general questions that teachers are getting from students, if you could ask now, ask your class if there are any kind of big picture type stuff. If it's more specific stuff, that's more kind of a face-to-face conversation. But if you will, take a moment, ask your classes, and drop those questions in the chat, or feel free to unmute. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself and give you guys a little bit of wait time. Okay. So we've got a couple questions coming in. One of the questions is, will students need to bring their final project to school? And the hope for that is yes. I showed you folks a video a couple weeks back of the Project Expo from Sand Creek from a couple years back that I got to be a part of. And our hope is that we're going to have a big cumulative presentation where every student gets to show off and, you know, have their elevator speech, and we'll be starting to work on a poster here shortly, and just a whole presentation of the project in an expo format where they can get some feedback from different people. We can invite community members in. That is really the hope. Logistically, we're still working on what this might look like. I've got a couple of folks, including Michelle, interested in helping plan that out. Can we fit everybody in the gym and do that? Probably not. Can we use this whole space of the campus that we have and make that work? I think so. So we're looking forward to hopefully having some format for the students to bring in the project and show it off. As for the final project due date, we're still firming that up as well. Usually we're looking around sometime in April. So kind of scope on that, it should be a fairly significant project. We're looking for kind of that 25 to 50 hours outside of school type of commitment. And so it's a fairly significant project. We'd also, but depending on the nature of the project, like to be able to have students work on the project during Pathways in school. However, recognizing some of that might be challenging. I was talking with Dr. Cephas this morning about, what does it look like when you have a kid practicing karate during Pathways? Might be a little tricky. Maybe we can make that work in the gym or something. But there are certain projects that lend themselves to, working on a computer here. However, certain projects that might be more focused on needing to work at home. Another question, what if a project is too big? Can videos and pictures suffice? Absolutely. Yeah, there's going to be certain projects that are physically too large to fit through a door. We've had students do modifications to a car, put a turbocharger on their Honda or whatever it might be, and we just can't fit that in the door. They can document that and show that off in a presentation format. They can also potentially, if we had a section of large projects that might be in the parking lot, we could work on that, or even just out here by the flagpole and by the tables out front, be able to, have a different section there. So we're kind of firming that up. Okay. Other questions? Perfect. Okay. I think that was the sufficiently awkward length of time to allow people to type, and awkward is my comfort zone, so we're all good. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.